Hey everybody, how's it going today? I'm doing my video early today. This is awesome. Normally it's nighttime. I'm in my office upstairs and I'm in my bouncy chair. I'm bouncing. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist. I'm doing a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety, and I'm bouncing. You should get a chair too so you can bounce with me. It is awesome. It's on Amazon, I think, for like, I don't know, 70 bucks or something. I bought it a couple months ago. Saw one at a client's house once and I was like, I gotta get that. So I did. So anyway, this is video 132 of 365. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you all so much. And I wanted to know today, are you being your old self or your new self? We've talked about this a million times, but if you've never seen me before, this is what I love to talk about. Self-concept, law of assumption, law of attraction, psychology, neuroscience, quantum physics, all this fun stuff. I do not profess to be a master of any of these things. I think that when I'm not here anymore, that's when I will become the master that I was before I came here. So that's how I want to look at these things. But I know what helps me, and I love to share the things that have helped me over the years and have helped my clients. And I've been practicing for, well, let's see, in May it'll be 12 years. And I mostly am in private practice right now. I see a few clients through a friend of mine's agency, but I'm mostly private practice and have been for about 6 years and love it, love it. But yeah, I've seen a lot of patterns in people where they're telling the old story. And I noticed I was telling the old story today, guys. I was telling the old story in my mind. It was crazy. And I had to like remind myself, and this is why I love to talk about this stuff, because no matter how good you get, there's always going to be something that tries to get your goat, and you can't let something get your goat. If your button's out there, somebody's going to push it. So you can't put your button out there. You got to make sure that you are staying on yourself. You might hear Chad in the background. That is my chirping kitty Chad. He's loud. You might hear him in the background. Hopefully you do. He's very entertaining. So you've got to be aware and conscious of what you're thinking about yourself during your day. And you've got to be on and very cognizant of, am I telling the old story or am I telling the new story? And sometimes you literally have to tell yourself, oh my gosh, and disrupt whatever thought pattern you have going on and say, oh my gosh, I'm telling the old story again. I'm doing it. And the old story can look like anything that is just, well, this person always acts this way, or this person said this and they always say this, and I always feel this way because of this. Notice the word always, never, those types of words that you say in your mind. Or you're just literally repeating the same thing over and over, and or you're feeling the same feeling you've been feeling over and over. Just kind of like audit yourself, do a little discovery on yourself, and possibly write some stuff down if you need to, so that it's on paper and you can get it out of your body and your mind and like look at it and say, okay, what are my dominant beliefs about myself? What do I normally think about? Like what is normal to me for me to think about? And this type of thing is what stops us, I believe, from getting what we want, because we're in this old energy of the same old self. Because it's logical, if you think the same way every single day, that you're going to feel the same way every single day. Isn't that logical? I mean, when you really think about it, that sounds about right. So then I thought, well, if we think differently and then we start changing our beliefs, because a belief is just a thought you've thought over and over and over, and it just kind of solidifies into a belief. And then you have a bunch of beliefs and they become a belief system. And so if we were to change our thoughts, then our beliefs would actually shift. And then we would just not even need those old thoughts anymore. And then when I learned about identity shifting, like figuring out, okay, if this person that I'm wanting to become, like if I am that person, what would that person think? What would they believe? How would they feel? And am I currently acting and thinking and feeling like that person would be? And the answer was no. And like, there goes Chad, you might see him you'll see him if he comes back out. But, and yes, we have a cat named Chad. It's a funny story. He's hilarious. He came to us out of nowhere. He came to the backyard and our other cat found him one morning. And I had said I wanted to name a cat Chad. So he became Chad. And he fits that name. He is the Chad. He is hilarious and naughty, and he's so sweet. So anyway, So if you just really examine where does my attention go? Where your attention goes, energy flows right to that. So think about that too. Like, where am I investing my energy today? Is it giving me a good ROI, return on investment? Or is it depleting me? Am I dismissing myself? Am I, not feeding myself what I need to be fed? In my mental diet, you got your mental diet. What are you feeding yourself? That includes, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you consuming? Like, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? That's another thing. Who are you listening to? Watch that one. Are you listening to people that are in your environment right now? Or are you listening to people that are in your mind from 20 years ago? That maybe they said something not so good to you and now you're still thinking about it? Think about those things. We got maybe some violent words that were said to us, and we hold on to those things, and they just become almost like imprinted in us. And so really examine those things, because you don't deserve to feel like that anymore. If you look at it like you're abusing yourself, and if you've been abused before, which I think a lot of us have, unfortunately, in many different ways. But this is like, if you look at talking to yourself from the old story as this is self-abuse. This is like, I'm emotionally abusing myself because every time I think about that thing, it makes me feel bad. So it's almost like you've got an abuser in your head, And so if you think about it that way, and you start saying, I don't deserve this anymore. I'm going to shift my identity into a person who doesn't deserve to be spoken to like that anymore. And look at yourself like you're your best friend if you need to. How would you talk to your best friend? Don't talk to yourself like that, because you are actually supposed to be your best friend, because you're with yourself 24/7. That's a long time to be with yourself, and you're with yourself forever. So your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you'll ever have. And how you feel about yourself will reflect out in all your other relationships. Just look at the patterns. Just look at what you see in the reflection. You can't argue with the mirror. You can't ask the mirror reflection to change until you change, because you can't, be frowning at the mirror and ask it to smile. You have to smile first. But it is a practice. If you haven't been doing these things ever, or if you're just like fed up with manifestation and just like done with the failing at it and all these things that you think that is happening and you're stuck and all these things, it's like, if you feel stuck, then there is something going on. And a lot of times what's going on is we're just overthinking things, and we're telling ourselves the same old story. You got to watch what you're telling yourself. What story are you telling yourself? It's like grabbing a book on your nightstand every night and reading this book before you go to bed. Like, you're telling yourself the same story all the time. And if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that is insanity, as we know. So we want to be sane. So we have to do something new to expect a new result. So keep that in mind. It's logical that if you change your thoughts, your beliefs will change, your feelings will change, you will change, and decide who you want to be. How would that person think and act? How would they feel? Would they feel safe? Tell yourself, I'm safe in my body. That is something that's big. I think a lot of people do not feel safe in the world in general, and they are scared of their own minds. I've seen that a lot, where some people are just not comfortable even going inside their minds anymore. But if you're telling a new story, then you're going to start feeling safer, because of course you're not going to feel safe in your mind if you're abusing yourself. Think about that. I wouldn't want to be in my mind if I were talking to myself crappy all day and being mean to myself. I wouldn't want to be there either. So just remember that you're in your mind all day long, and you get to decide what you focus on. You get to decide what you think. No one teaches us this, that it's our choice, what we can focus on. And remember, what you focus on, your energy's flowing to that, and it's going to reflect out in your reality, in your life, in your experience. So a really good thing to do is like really look around you and notice what's happening, notice any patterns that you see. But one of the best things, like I've said, is just to go inside your mind and start speaking to yourself really nicely. Look in the mirror and say, I love you. Let's try that. A lot of people are really uncomfortable with that. And I say, if you're uncomfortable with it, that means you probably need to do it, because it's going to get you to a level where you might need to go. And maybe you're unhappy because you're not reaching that level where your soul, your internal being knows that you're capable of getting to, but you're not catching up. Esther Hicks, I remember Abraham Hicks, they said that a long time ago about like, your inner being is growing and you're not keeping up. And so that's why you're upset. And I really took that in and I was like, that makes so much sense. Because if you're ready to level up and you're not thinking the thoughts that align with leveling up, and you're still telling the same story, that doesn't allow you to level up. And that feels bad when you're not living up to your potential. I believe we all have 100%, all potentials exist. We can become anything, anyone we want. I really believe that. And so you have to start actually programming that into yourself and believing that you have the potential to do anything. The lady that was doing my healing session yesterday, we were talking about YouTube, and she was like, oh my gosh, she said something like, I'm too uncomfortable to do that, or I can never do that, or something like that. And I was like, you are looking at a person who just could not ever, I never felt comfortable to do this. I knew I wanted to do it. I had a desire, but I was like, you can do anything. And it got me thinking about how many people out there are not starting YouTube because they felt the way that I used to feel. And so I'd love to help you guys in any way. If you're watching this and you need help, I'll start a separate group for just people who want to get on YouTube, because it changes your life. It changes how you see yourself. You really get to kind of know yourself because you're watching. I watch every video before I post it to make sure it's okay. And I make myself watch myself, normally on 2 times. I do recommend 2 times sometimes because I do ramble sometimes. So, and you can still get a lot out of it at 2 times. But yeah, we were just talking about, not like the fear associated with like being seen. And I think there's something super special about being seen, especially when you see yourself. And one more thing I'll leave you with too is that when you have a desire, it's already done. Remember that, it's already created. You wouldn't have a desire if you weren't meant to have it. Think about that one. And when I learned that, when I heard that, I was like, if I have the desire, then that means it's already done. And that means it's supposed to be mine, or I wouldn't even desire it in the first place. That really made sense. And so I was just excited about it. I was like, man, that's so cool that I can have what it is that I want. So really take all this in and practice some mirror work. Look into your eyes and say whatever you want to say to yourself. Those inner conversations as well are really important. You want to speak to yourself the way that you wish somebody else might speak to you. Just start speaking really nicely to yourself. See how it feels to actually hear the words that you've been wanting to hear for a long time. Instead of, and you're going to replace that, or replace the old story with that. So anytime that you are noticing that you're feeling bad, or you're spiraling, or anything, you've got to disrupt the pattern. That's why this channel is called Life Spells for a reason. So I believe we are the spell of our lives. We are creating spells all the time. And and the tagline to my business name is disrupt, rewire, and expand. First of all, you have to disrupt your thought patterns and the story. And then we've got to rewire it. And then from there, we don't have to do any more work. We just expand. And that's it. We just have to disrupt and rewire. That's it. But the rewiring process is so simple. It kind of happens on its own as well. But the first step is disrupting it, because a lot of times we don't know that we're in the spiral. So watch how you're feeling and you'll know where you're at. That's your internal guidance system. It's telling you, hey, something's off here if you feel bad. And so then all you have to do is mentally shift. And remember that your internal state is the most important thing. It is manifesting 24/7 for you. It's happening right now. You were meant to see this video for a reason. Hopefully we're shifting your state right now. It's easy. Tell yourself it is so easy to shift. It is so easy. We make it so hard. It is so easy. Program that into your brain. It is easy. This is easy. Life is easy. Life is joyful. It's supposed to be. We've just made it too hard, and we've believed that it has to be hard, but it doesn't. We don't have to work hard. We don't have to be something that we're not. We could just simply be, and everything kind of works itself out. It unfolds in the perfect timing, but we dig up the seed, we plant the seed, and we dig it up the next day. And we're like, where's my stuff? Why am I not different today? All of that stuff. So I think that is a, we can get there very quickly, but I think that there's something like, I know for me, I don't really want to get places quickly sometimes. I do want the journey. As they say, it's the journey, not the destination. So because there is no there is right now. We only have right now. And so what are you going to do with your precious now? What are you going to do with it? Because you're creating everything from right now. So stay in the now as much as possible and shift your mental state. That's your only job, is to feel good. So how do I shift my state right now if I'm spiraling? I shift it by stopping telling the old story. So we're going to stop that. We're going to disrupt it, and then we're going to rewire it with a new story. So who am I? Everything you say after I am is what you believe you are. So if you find yourself saying, I am broke, or I am stupid, or I am not prioritized, or I'm not chosen, or whatever the thing is that everybody thinks that they are, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. No, you can't get what you want by thinking that way. No. And say that to yourself. No. Stop. Sometimes I have to do that. I have to say, nope, stop. Because the brain is so ingrained like that it will just keep going and going unless you just disrupt it. You've got to disrupt it. Remember, disrupt, rewire, and then expand. Expansion just happens on its own. You don't have to do any work. That's just the third step. But you got to disrupt it first. And you got to know when to disrupt it. And that's when you're feeling bad. Your indication is, I feel like crap, or I am angry, or I am frustrated, or I am overwhelmed. That is telling you something needs to change. And it's your mental state. It's what you're conscious of. It's what you're aware of. It's what you're focused on. So whatever you're focusing on, disrupt it and say, I'm going to focus on something else right now. How do I want to feel? And decide how you want to feel. And you practice over and over again, saturate your mind like that, and everything will start to shift. And it'll look weird sometimes. It might look like the opposite, but just know everything in the background is happening in a perfect orchestration to get you to where you want to go. And you can even believe that, as you could say that as one of your beliefs, your new belief that you're going to have. Circumstances do not matter. What everything looks like right now is exactly what it needs to look like to get me to where I want to go. That's what I started saying. I was like, no matter what it looks like out here, I'm still getting better every single day. Everything is unfolding perfectly, in perfect timing. There's no worry. There's no hurry. I just need to be in my now and as happy as I can be and as relaxed as I can be and at peace as much as I can be. Peace is priceless. Peace feels so good. So I will end it right there. You guys just go ahead and practice. I've got meditations on my channel if you'd like to check those out. They're in my channel on a playlist. Now I can't remember what they're called. Mind Restoration Meditations, I think is what it's called. Check those out. Check my arsenal of ton of videos, 131 other videos. Check them out. See if there's anything in there that you might like. Just want you guys to feel better and get the life that you want, because it is so great to feel at peace. And I just want that for everybody that wants it for themselves, of course. So I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe if you'd like to, and share it with somebody that might need it today. That'd be great. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.